Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the. I'm just gonna make some adjustments, and then I'm gonna appear. So don't be shocked. Hello, 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 hello. Sorry, I've just ruined the moment, haven't I, Ghost Pouch? Quiet sit by the water is exactly what we all need. Yeah, I think it is. I think it really is. Can we just watch this for an hour without interruption from that Scouse skit? Or Git, I don't know, Game of Thrones. No, you can't. Sorry, Martin. I need to show off my secret sign that you're only going to see if someone drops a super chat. Anyway, I hope you're all right. I hope you're all doing well. There's a boat coming. There's a boat coming. There he goes, look. Boating out over the lagoon. Birds tweetering in the distance. So we're going to talk about politics in a moment, but first of all, I had a hummingbird in my room this morning. A hummingbird flew in. God, hummingbirds are so cool. They're very cool. I was really scared because they can't really stop. They just keep going. They're like crazy. They move so fast, and I was worried that it would get stuck, but it tried to get out of the corner of the room, which it couldn't, and then it just turned around and flew back out again. Lot smarter than insects, I've got to say. Insects, they just come in and then you just can't get rid of them. So I just don't understand how this works. I'm inside, but now I can't get out. Hey up, badgers. I made a live stream. Hi, everyone. Hi, Sid. How you doing? Wow, stunning scenery. You need to get yourself a seaplane. Oh, Martin Harrow. Thank you very much. You may see the secret sign of the super chat. Woo! So thank you very much, Martin, for the for the £2 super chat. That's very kind. Did you buy a Panama hat? Less sweaty than a leather one? No, I don't like Panama hats. I don't feel like I look good in them. And Yeah, probably less sweaty than these cowboy hats from Australia, which are made of kangaroo leather. Keep the kangaroos warm in those cold outback winters. Safe travels, Graham. Oh, thank you very much to Plum Duff there. It ain't half plum duff. But yeah, the water is stunningly calm this morning. It is absolutely beautiful out there. I mean, that is just gorgeous. And obviously, I've got to sort of go into town. I'm just adjusting this so it's kind of straight. I've got to go into town in a few moments after the show. So this is a good time to go. When we get overcast and we start getting big waves, we start getting waves in, it can be quite unpleasant, depending on which way the wind is blowing. If you're in a panga, it's one of the little fiberglass boats that they have here, you smash your arse every time you go over a wave. You smash down on your bum, and it can be really uncomfortable. It's when you want to take off your life vest and sit on it instead to save your tocas. Super chat sign says, I like that. That's good. That isn't it. Super match time. Is that what the original was in the 80s? God, 80s quiz shows. 3, 2, 1. Price is Right. Blankety blank. Yeah, that. They still have blankety blank, don't they? Oh yes. Who else have you got saying hello? Good afternoon. This just popped up. Says Kirsty. Looks like a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day, right? I think everyone who's going to be here is here now. We've only got 30 people watching. That's all right. Once I get back next week, I'll be back in the UK on Sunday, and I'm going straight to the Labour Party conference. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get a reception this time. I've bought a Vodafone SIM card specially for the conference because my gift gaff doesn't get me anywhere, and see if I can stream from the conference. That would be ace. Blankety blank had super match time. Oh, okay, cool. I knew it was something. Blankety blank, blankety blank, blankety blank. The noise of fiberglass boats slapping waves is mental. Well, yeah. So I've decided to bite the bullet, and we're going to get a new boat. Well, it's not going to be new, but we've been struggling on the island now for quite a while without an actual boat of our own. So we've had to, if Ishmael wanted to get into town or wanted to go anywhere, he'd have to borrow a boat off someone. And it can get very expensive very, very quickly. Just to give you some examples, like if you got a taxi to come here from town, it would cost you $25, and obviously $25 back again. So it's a $50 round trip. And if you want to hire a boat off someone, someone who lends you the boat for the day, it's probably going to be $40 to lend the boat, and then you've got to pay for fuel on top of that. So sometimes it's actually cheaper to get a taxi. Which is the mad thing to say, isn't it? It's like, that's like when you get the train in the UK and there's more than one of yous, and it's like, will be cheaper to get a taxi, literally. Especially if there's a family of 4. Anywhere you want to go in the UK, it's probably cheaper to get a taxi than it is to get the train. There's 4 of yous. You're a Croesus, Graham, only bloke I know. Croesus? Is it Croesus? I'm pronouncing that one. You're a Croesus, Graham, only bloke I know with his own island. Yeah, and we put up a new sign. I don't know if you can see, it's a bit far away, but I've done like a Jurassic Park style sign as you go into the island there. Can you see? It says Jinja Island, and there's 2 sticks sticking out the water, and you go under the sign to go in now, which is quite cool. Although I think I'm going to have to paint the letters to make them stand out a bit more because they're carved. You see, they're carved. I'm selling one £120 with a trailer, a boat. Oh my God, that'd be good. You won't get much for £120 around here. But yeah, so we're going to get a boat. We're going to get a new boat. We've got the motor. The motor's fine. It's just the boat. So we're going to get a new one. And we're going to call it the Jinja Ninja. It's going to be excellent. It's going to get a custom paint job. I'm going to do a custom paint job, I think. If it's not too expensive. If it's like 200 quid, I'll do the custom paint job and have like a little Jinja Ninja. Cutting through the water with the katana. Yeah. Anyway, so let's talk about politics. Should we talk about politics for a little bit? This is Politics Social. It's not Graham Hughes Travels. It's Graham Hughes Politics. So, James Comey got indicted So, James, hi. Do you want to talk about that time in 2016, the week before the election, when you said you were doing an investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails? Do you want to talk about that? Yeah. Should we just talk about that together? Someone just jumped out the water behind me. That was cool. I don't know what it was, but it was cool. Yeah. Should we talk about this? Shall we? Should we mention it? Do you reckon is it a bit rude to mention maybe the fact that a week before the 2016 election, he said that he was launching an investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails, which resulted in a big fat zero, a big fat duck egg. Nothing happened. Like literally nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing did happen as a result of that, except Trump won the election in 2016, setting things in a course of motion for America's gradual and then sudden decline into fascism. And this is the thing, right? This is the thing that I want everyone watching this to learn, okay? Because you're all clever people and awesome and beautiful, of course, you're watching this channel. You should give a like. We've got 35 people watching. We've got 16 likes, so you should give a like. But here's the lesson, right? Never do a favor to a fash, right? Because you'll end up dead or in chains. Just forget it. You know the fable of the frog and the scorpion, where the scorpion says, I need a lift over the river, and the frog says, yeah, but if I give you a lift, you'll sting me. And the scorpion says, well, no, that won't be in my interest, because if I sting you, you'll sink, and then I'll die as well. And he goes, okay, hop on my back. And the frog takes him halfway across the river, and the scorpion fucking stings him. And as the frog is dying and saying, but you're going to die too, the scorpion says, I can't help it. It's my nature. And this is the nature of the fash. You give them an inch, they will kill you. Do you understand? This is how it works, James. Yeah? Jim Bob, right? You're listening to me, right? This is how it works. I know that you've grown up in a world that you think is set up in a certain way, and there are institutions and constitutions and restitutions that you can rely on, and prostitutions that you can rely on to make sure that you don't actually end up coming a cropper to the fash. But fash don't give a fuck, mate. Just ask Charlie Kirk. Made a lot of money out of his memorial gig, didn't they? Fuck me. They were selling fash merchandise at his memorial. Did I place a bet the other week to say that his wife will remarry within the year? I might have to revise that timeline down a little bit. It's all a business transaction to these people. It's all they see is dollars. You see a human being who's been cut down in their prime, and whether you like them or not, watching this, you probably didn't. You have that compassion in your heart, but they don't see that. All they see is the dollar signs. That's all they care about. It's all they give a fuck about. It's all that occupies their daily routine is just dollar signs, dollarinos, cruelty, pettiness, revenge. And here we have James Comey, the former director of the FBI, who has now been indicted on 2 charges of lying before Congress. Well, is that the same Congress that Trump sent an angry mob to go and try and kill everyone in there? Hang the vice president to overturn the results of a democratic election. Is that the same Congress? Okay. And this is the same Congress that little shitbag RFK Jr., the sound of gravel death gravel man. He hasn't lied, has he? He never told any fibs. And then they come out with, oh yeah, paracetamol causes autism. Paracetamol. Interesting that it wasn't a particular drug that's patented by, Merck or AstraZeneca or SmithKline Beecham or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like a patented drug. It was one of the cheapest drugs that you can get and the most effective when you have a fever during pregnancy. But no, don't have that one. That's cost pennies to buy. That causes autism. If you notice when they come up with stuff like this, it's never the expensive medicine that they say don't take this. It's never the expensive procedures, is it? Is it? Fucking crazy. Electric hydrofoil surfboard is what you want. How am I supposed to go to the hardware store with that? You imagine carrying back 2 massive 2 by 12 pieces of wood. These big motherfuckers down on the deck here. Imagine carrying them under your arm. Yeah, 13th boat. What? Fantastic. Thank you for your support, David. Oh, we got some super chat in. We got some super chat. David Faulkner, all the way from Hong Kong. Thank you, sir. We got a super chat. Here we go. It's a super chat. Super. Oh, wow. A big fish just jumped out. A big fish. There was a big fish, and then all the little fish were jumping out of the water to get away from the big fish. That was really cool. Anyway, super chat. Oh my God! Sorry, I'm just going to check out what's happening. This might be cool. Let's turn this around, shall we? Let's turn this thing around. See if we can spot. Look at this nice new deck. Isn't this lovely? Right, where are you? See, oh my God, the water's so clear. You can see all the leaves in the mangroves. Right, come on. Where's this big fish? There's a big fish somewhere around here. It's jumping out the water. Where have you gone, big fish? It'd be funny if the resolution goes really shit now. And you end up not seeing what I'm talking about. I don't know. That's my new Jinja Island sign, by the way, if you care. Jinja Island. There, see that sign. I can't see in the water so well here because of the reflection of everything. Oh, you can see my hat. No, are we not? Okay. No, can't see a fish. Oh well. We can't see a big fish. That's a shame. It is a shame, isn't it? Because it would have been really cool to see a big fish. I bet as soon as I sit down again, we'll see a fish again. Fishing and politics with Graham Hughes. And then turn that round again. Hello, come back to me. Hello. I'll just put that back in. There we go. Happy days. Oh. Lounge back on my hammock. Careful, Graham. It could be a piranha who likes cornflakes. Well, piranhas aren't that bad, really. They're really small. They can't do you that much damage. They do go mad sometimes, but I don't think there's any human being that's ever been eaten alive by piranhas. They just don't do it. It's like it's too much hard work when there's other stuff to eat in the water. Because there's always plenty more fish in the Amazon River. Big fish, little fish, cardboard box. Anyway, so we were talking about the fash and what happens when you mollycoddle the fash or give them an inch. They'll fucking kill you. And then they will delight in the horrors in which they have bestowed on others because that's what they do. Super tiny. I bought it for the trailer, advertised it as project. Everything was there to sail it, but intended to use it, but haven't had the time. Plus, we have a Taz that the boys use. Well, here's the thing, right, Martin? They say that the two best days of your life, the day you buy your first boat and the day you sell it. Graham, not amused. Sorry. What? What did I do? What did I do? Fish. What did I do? I don't know what I did. I've upset Elle. Sorry, Elle. That's a shame, Martin. I renovated a mirror dinghy once, even made a new transom. Was it a handsome transom? Is it a particularly good-looking transom? That's a bit at the back of the boat that the motor sits on, isn't it? All good. Not amused. We are not amused. So yeah, I don't know if anything's going to come of this. Seriously, this obvious political witch hunt. And Trump has been trying to go after all these different people. He actually tweeted about it last weekend, or truthed about it on his Truth Social bullshit. But here's the thing, right? Him doing this and saying, oh, we've got to go after this person's corrupt and all this, it actually helps the people that he's going after. So you know Luigi, Mario's brother? No, the other one who shot dead that CEO, Luigi Mangione. He might get off. He might get away with it. I mean, it's not very likely, but he might. And do you know why he might get away with it? Because he can't get a fair trial. because the president of the United States has said he's guilty already. He's put it out there for everyone to see, saying that he definitely did that thing that he's going to be on trial for. And then all his lawyers have to do is prove that he can't have a fair trial. He doesn't have to prove he didn't do it. He has to prove he's innocent, just to prove that he can't get a fair trial, which Trump has done. This is the same thing that Tommy Robinson got in trouble for in the UK. He went to jail for trying to fuck with a case that was going on, an ongoing case. And it was into, it was I think it was a paedophile sex ring. And basically by reporting from the court steps and talking about it, he was prejudicing the case. He was making it less likely that the jury could come to a unbiased verdict. And by doing that, by putting it in a place where it might end up in a mistrial, he was actually helping the potential paedophiles, or the accused paedophiles, or the people who had committed this quite horrific sexual assault, which is kind of crazy. So there's a bag there's a plastic bag with some shoes in or something. I don't know. On the deck here, it's Ishmael's wife's, and there's a crab on it, and the crab's sort of moving around the plastic bag. I don't know if it's inside the plastic bag, but it's rattling around. I can hear its little legs rattling. It's really distracting. Can you stop doing that, Mr. Krabs? Thank you. Now we know what you did with the owner of the boat you're flocking, Martin. Hey, dry nail colour. I don't like top beak of pitching colour. I don't eat cornflakes. Can you tell? Says Trip. That's brilliant. I don't know what that means. It's fantastic. There you go. I used to have piranhas. They do get quite big, but they're quite timid. Yeah, they'll just nip at you. They just nip at you. They don't actually hurt. I suppose they would hurt if you went swimming naked and they nipped a certain part of you. That would hurt. But yeah, generally speaking, you're all right. Just keep your pants on. So yeah, I was thinking about the rest of Trump's political enemies that he's going to go after. And I did say it back in January for Biden, Kamala Harris, AOC, Bernie Sanders, get the fuck out of America. Just leave. You can't do any more good there, And I know there's some commentators who say, you don't have that attitude because that's defeatist and we've got to stay here and fight the fash. And I'm like, the fash will burn itself out. And that is the beautiful and amazing and awesome message of the TV show Andor. Because fascism it takes so much effort. It takes a lot more effort than democracy. Comparatively, democracy is a piece of piss compared with fascism, because once you have these people who are fash, they someone's cutting wood. Once you have the fash, once they get into the fash show, maybe that's what we should call it. Maybe we should have a sketch show called the Fash Show. Someone write that down and remind me. I wish I brought me pen and paper with me. The Fash Show. You've got to control so many things about people's lives, and it's so unnatural. That's the best word to describe it. Fascism is unnatural. Totalitarianism is unnatural, and people will continually fight back against it, and you're continually putting out fires and trying to keep everyone sweet, and at any given moment, the whole thing can collapse like a house of cards. It's quite difficult in comparison to try and topple democracy. That takes a lot more time, effort, and planning. Don't forget, the Heritage Foundation in America has been trying to topple democracy in America for 50 years, and it took them 50 years to do that. Yeah, all charges dropped against Kneecap. Yes, for what they said at Glastonbury. Fair enough. It was Bob Villan at Glastonbury, wasn't it? Kneecap were all right. They didn't say much at Glastonbury. They were the ones who got into trouble. But yeah, the charges have been dropped. Good. Which goes to show as well, all this bullshit about, we don't have freedom of speech in this country anymore. And it's like, No, we totally do have freedom of speech, but we just don't have speech without consequences. That is the difference. People think that freedom of speech means freedom to say anything without consequences, and that's not what it is. In any case, we don't have freedom of speech enshrined in our constitution because we don't have a written constitution. Common sense prevails, Gordon. Yeah, exactly. But in that film, they get eaten by the piranhas. What film? You mean Piranha? I should have said, what film? I can't remember the name. The one about the piranha. Um, yeah. The trial collapsed on a technicality. Watch this space, right? Because I think that might happen with Luigi. I think it might happen. Because you think about his lawyers that he's got at the moment. They're going to be looking at what Trump said and what other political commentators have already said about him, but particularly Trump, and just say he can't get a fair trial now. There's no way you can get a fair trial. It just can't happen. So yeah, yes, that's what they really want. Freedom of consequence, says L. Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I'll show you my super chat thing. I'm very proud of that. I need to get back into the habit of doing the letters. You see this? It looks a bit shonky, and the P sort of goes into the E there, because you're holding this big router, and you kind of like moving it. And what happens is, because this is driftwood, this is literally driftwood. Do you know what I mean? That's washed up on the island. Sometimes the spinning thing that's making letters. Sometimes it moves really, really fast across the wood. It doesn't move at the same speed, depending on the grain of the wood, and maybe there's a soft bit in it as well. So that might have done that to do a C, and I was trying to curve it round, but it just went like that and moved really fast. So it takes a bit of practice. But I was looking at the ones that me and Marcus did when we were here 4 years ago, and it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago today, I think we arrived, something like that. Marcus is a fucking whiz at this kind of stuff. Like, he was brilliant from the go. My first few efforts were a bit shonky, but then after that, I was really getting used to this whole thing of like how you turn it a little bit as you move it around, stuff like that. My big problem with it really is that to get the router to work, I can't run it off the solar panels, and it doesn't work off the battery. I've got to get the generator up and running in order to get enough power, for this router to work. And bloody hell, it's noisy. Jesus, because you got the noise of the generator, which I hate. Like, I think I can hear some frogs on a nearby island. And the lapping of the water. This is amazing. I love this. As someone who gets a bit pissed off at noise pollution, I'm like, that's nice. So having to turn the generator on and then having a router plugged into the generator's making a hell of a din, and then the router's making a hell of a din as well. Luckily, I've got my ADHD plugs. My ADHD plugs. I'll get them out. Don't worry, they're not butt plugs. I always carry these around. These are my little hearing things that you just put in your ear to block the sound. They're really good. Like, they tend to block like the main sound, but you can still have like a conversation with someone and understand them pretty clearly, especially if you're looking at them. But yes, I don't know why I started talking about the super chat thing there. But if you do want me to do a super chat animation with the driftwood there, then it's all good. Use a chisel and sandpaper. It's much more satisfying and cleaner. All right, Trip. If you want me to do one a year, damn it. Sorry, I'm late. That's all right. One angry pagan, you're here now. No, that driftwood, yes. Stomp, going quiet makes me check my connection. I'll stop going quiet. Oh, sorry. Woodworking is very cathartic. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It's very satisfying. And one thing that Marcus always said is like wood it's quite forgiving. You don't have to be like quite as precise as you do with other stuff and still make it look good. And he's absolutely right about that. And also, wood's it may not be alive like it used to be, but it was a living thing, and it changes over time. It changes color, it changes texture, it changes the size. Like, it gets bigger and smaller depending on the weather, how much sap is inside it. And it's really funny, like doing these planks of wood behind me here. cutting them. Some of them absolutely weigh a fucking ton because they're full of sap. And then the next one, it's like, you just pick it up. It's like nothing. It's like polystyrene. Here's my late fee. Oh, you don't have to pay a late fee, but thank you very much, Sarah Davis, for the £2 super chat. Super chat, super chat, super chat, super chat, super chat. Oh, hang on, there you go. Super chat. Oh, yeah. Okay, so if you want some more super chat animations, I probably won't sing in future. Just drop a couple of quid in there into the idiot fund. Thank you very much. Oh, the parrot saying, "Who's a ginger boy then?" in the background. Sorry, my brain is going. He is. They are. They're saying. I got a parrot called Captain Jack. Hi, Captain Jack. Where are you? He's over there. How you doing? Fuck off! Oh, that's not very nice, is it? I told him to say that. Made from OG free roaming lost driftwood. No, but I love this. I love the way that wood goes. Like over time, and I'm sure that was used for something at some point. Probably part of like a walkway or something. There's a hole there. So it was obviously drilled in somewhere, and maybe here it's broken off there. But I don't know. I just love it. It's just a really nice material. It's so unique. Like every single piece of wood is absolutely unique. It's like a fingerprint. Every single one, every single piece of wood that you see everywhere in the world is absolutely unique to a particular time, a particular place, a particular tree, a particular part of that particular tree. I find that whole thing fascinating, and it's why one of the reasons why I hate concrete, because it's got no story. It's got no story. It's got no tale to tell. Dead concrete tells no tales. One are you pagan? I was just having a chat with my sister about one of my favourite book series she was reading, and for the first time, highly recommend Skullduggery Pleasant by Derek Landy, ye lot too. I'm reading Flash for Freedom, which is the third Flashman book of the Flashman series. There's 12 of them all together. The first one's just called Flashman, the second one's called Royal Flash, and then this one's called Flash for Freedom. Fucking, it's a hard read. It really is. Okay, so if you're not familiar with Flashman, he is a character that was invented by Thomas Hughes for Tom Brown's School Days, and in the 1960s, George MacDonald Fraser, a writer, he decided to take this fictional character, as a bit part player in some other book from the Victorian era, and tell the rest of his life. And it's called the Flashman Papers, and apparently this is like this guy's life story. He gets into all these escapades. So like in the first book, he ends up in Afghanistan during the Great Retreat from Kabul, and he's the sole survivor. The next one, he's fucking around with Bismarck, played by Oliver Reed in the film, by the way, if anyone's seen the film of Royal Flash. And then in this book, he meets Abraham Lincoln, and it's all about slavery. And he is just the world's biggest shit. He is just a piece of shit. He's the bully from Tom Brown's School Days. And he is a coward, a lech, a liar, a drunkard, a thief, just a rapist. He is a murderer. But he just gets away with it every fucking time. He always lands on his feet. And you read, and it is a black comedy. It is satire. But in this particular book, called Flash for Freedom, he ends up on a slave boat. He ends up getting press gang. And his description, sorry, I'm buffering there, buffering. But his description of of slavery and the actuality of slavery, of what it was like to be on one of these ships and have human beings put on board, and they only get like a certain amount of space each. It's like 15 inches for a man and 12 inches for a woman or something, and they have to sleep on their side or pressed against each other. And I guess there's movies like 12 Years a Slave and Amistad, but this particular book, it's so visceral and so horrific the way that it is described, and also because you're seeing it through the eyes of this entitled, privileged English gentleman knobhead who went to rugby school, privately educated, thinks he's so much better than everybody else. He's racist. The N-word is used an uncomfortable number of times in it. But oh my God, it really gets across how horrific the whole slaving process was. This is it's set in like the set in 1848, so it's after slavery's been made illegal throughout the British Empire. But there's still slave ships that are operating to get slaves to America, because obviously slavery wasn't abolished in America until after the Civil War. Yeah, I really think that like one of the best ways to get across to people just how horrific a situation is, whether it's slavery, whether it's the age of empire, it's colonization, or rape and plunder as it actually was, or whether, you know, we're talking about wars that have gone on in the past and stuff like that, or what's happening now. Honestly, satire is just the best way. Just trying to get a character who isn't there going, oh my God, these are all terrible things that's happening, but someone who is reacting to the situation in a kind of like, you know, even I, Flashman, who, you know, didn't care when I watched these the people in India being attached to the front of cannons and the cannons being shot through them, which happened. You know, and I'd happily have my dinner after watching that. But this was too much. And one of the things that's mentioned in the book, and it's kind of like he mentions it in kind of like an offhand way, but it's just so horrific when you think about it. Is not only are all the slaves on this boat like all top to tail in rows of people, and they're scared, they don't know what's happening to them. People are being sick, they've never been on a boat before, they're being sick all over each other, they're shitting on each other, pissing where they are, and they just get sprayed down with a hose twice a day. And they bring the women up to so that the men on board, the people working on the slave ship can rape them on purpose. And this is part of the process of slavery, right? They would get checked by the doctor. The women would get checked by the doctor, and the men, the crew, will get checked by the doctor to make sure they didn't have any sort of venereal disease or anything. And they would want them to be pregnant when they sold them, because if they were pregnant and they were going to have what they called a mulatto child, that child would be worth more than someone who was 100% West African. And I'm reading this book, and it's like a dark fucking satire. It is like absolutely pitch fucking black, and all I can think of like is this is the best way to get the message across. Because even I, like having studied history and stuff, didn't even think of that. I knew that slavery was fucking horrific. I knew that people were packed into these ships like sardines. But then to talk about the stench and the heat and and then this whole thing of like essentially women being forcefully impregnated by the crew of the ship, taking them over so that when they arrive they're all pregnant, like, and that's just done. That's just like, it's not like, oh my God, this is a horrific case. This was on every fucking slave ship. And when people go, oh, slavery wasn't that bad, was it? You know, the Romans had slaves, and you're like, fucking hell. You look at all the prestige buildings that are built in the UK and just how, like, fucking, you know, how much money we made from the slave trade in the UK. And just, it's horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. And I don't know whether to recommend the book. I don't know whether to recommend it, because in one way it is a real relic of a bygone era. It's a book that was written in like the 60s or 70s when attitudes were very different, and it's of a guy who lived in the 1800s looking back over his life. I don't know. Oh my God, I just saw a couple of fish. They must be friends. Yeah, driftwood tells a story. Its furniture is expensive. Yeah, I love driftwood. Waterbeds. It's probably a fisherman sat thinking, where's that board gone off my boat? Which actor would like that wood? Edward Woodward. Wood. Edward Woodward. Oh, you said it. You said it. Well done. Well done. I'm reading a memoir called Sociopath. I think probably the Flashman papers are quite similar to that. He is a complete shit, God, it's funny. Like, honestly, there's parts in it, and you laugh out loud reading it, and because he's such a shit, he's such a fucking arsehole. And there's a part of me that thinks, oh, I want him to get his comeuppance, I want him to actually get into trouble. But then there's a part of me that because someone makes you laugh, you tend to be like, I'm for them. And if you imagine there's a famous scene in the movie Psycho where, as far as you're concerned, if you've not seen Psycho, fingers in your ears, okay, I don't want to do any spoilers, but as far as you're concerned, a woman's come to stay at this motel, and the guy who owns the hotel with his mother, Norman, he quite fancies her, and then the mum, who's very controlling, runs in to the bathroom while she's having a shower and stabs her to death. And then the son is left to clear up the mess. As far as you know, no spoilers, please. There's a scene in which he puts the body of Marion Crane, Norman Bates puts the body of Marion into the boot of a car, or the trunk, I guess. It's America, isn't it? And then, do you ever notice in Hitchcock films, there was driving on the left? In Psycho, they drive on the left, which I always think is hilarious, because he's like, no, we're driving on the left. I don't care what country they're in, they're driving on the left. We're British, that's what we do. Anyway, so he puts her in the trunk of the car and then pushes it into a swamp, and it goes into the swamp, and then it stops. And you're watching it, right? And this guy is cleared up after the brutal murder. What you think is like his mum has committed this murder, and he's cleaning up after her. You should not be rooting for him. You should not be in any way thinking, oh, I hope he gets away with this. But when that car stops, your heart, you go, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And then it starts to sink, and you feel this like relief. And then you look back and you think, why the fuck? I should have wanted it not to go in the swamp, and then he would have got caught quicker, and then more murders wouldn't have happened, or whatever, But you don't, do you? Because there's a part of you that wants them to get away with it. And that's something that the fucking fash really tap into, Gangsters and fash are very, very similar in that respect. The people who go, he only needs to nail my head to the table once a week. One time I asked him not to nail my head to the table because my in-laws coming round. So he just tied me to the back of his car and took me for a drag. The nicest fellow I ever met. It's a witty skeleton detective and his fiery partner battle dark magic, ancient evils, and betrayal in a fast-paced, humorous fantasy series of twists, sass, and epic supernatural showdowns. Did you just copy that off the back of the book? One Angry Pagan. They surely needed sociopaths those days. Yeah. I'm no sociopath, says Elle. I'm lovely. Except for those thumb Tourette's and those fucking mood swings, Elle smash. No funny bits in the American Psycho book. Yes, there is. And you don't want him to get away with it either. I mean, he does some fucked up shit. There's a guy crossing the water on his little cayuga. I don't know if you can see it. It's quite far away. But he's out there. I read the book Roots and watched the TV series, about Kunta Kinte. Yeah, Roots is quite a difficult watch as well. But I think having a situation sort of narrated to you by possibly an unreliable narrator who has little love for it's not written as like I would write it if it was me writing for myself. I'm going to show you this guy on the water because I love this. Look at this. There you go. Oh God, I pressed it twice. There you go. Can you see him? I know he's really small. It's just on the gap. It's just on the right-hand side of the gap. A little boat there. I suppose if you're watching this on a big TV, you might be able to see it. But yeah, having a narrator tell you in a way that you wouldn't describe it yourself, because you'll be too horrified. You'll be like, this is horrific. Having someone who doesn't think that kind of thing is horrific and it's fine. It really brings home the horrificness of it all. It's like, that's the attitude that so many in the British Empire must have had, of like, oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. These people are all, they're all from the bloody savage lands. I don't care, and not seeing people as human. I think is one of the tricks that the fash have always pulled, have always said, like, these people, the other, whether they are people from West Africa, whether they're people who are homosexual or trans people who like that they're not like us. They're not like us. They don't feel pain. They don't they don't bleed, like what we do. And although Shylock isn't a particularly sympathetic character in Merchant of Venice, he does make that very good point of like, what's so different about me? I'm doing buffering. Sorry, you got buffered. I bleed the same as anybody else. So yeah, what else is going on? Does anyone want to throw some news stories into the chat to remind me? Because I haven't got my laptop with me to tell me things. I'm no sociopath. Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers. Morning Pagan, Skullduggery Present is largely set in Ireland. So there's quite a few nods to North Irish myths too. Oh, that's good. I like a few Irish myths. We need to have more of them. We're talking about ID. So Labour are going to bring in digital ID to fucking work. And all things being equal, you'd go, oh, well, we need a driving license to drive a car. We need a passport to leave the country. And okay, it's not great, but I suppose if it's urgent and it's a it's a matter of national security because so many of us are being murdered by people who don't have any real ID. But that's not the case, and I think that this is throwing a sop to the fash. Again, dance with the devil. The devil doesn't change. The devil changes you. But also, I don't like it for that reason. But also, I just find the whole thing just really dispiriting that they want to put down people's birth sex down on their birth gender down in their ID. So if you're trans, you'll be outing yourself every time you leave the house, every time you want to buy something, every time you want to go anywhere, do anything. You're going to out yourself because it's going to say on your ID when you present yourself as female, it's going to say on your ID that you're male, which you're not. I'm going to be so pissed off at the conference next week. I'm probably going to get into lots of fights. I don't know if it's going to be the last ever Labour conference I'm going to go to. It might be. The hurdy-gurdy is a real instrument. That's new for me. The Hurdy-Gurdy Man by Donovan. Is it? Where does Kylie get a kebabs? From Jason's Donovan. I think they have trip. I can't remember it. And they sound like they're from the future. Do I sound like I'm from the future? I sound like I'm from the future. So yeah, ID cards, digital or not, I don't really see the point of them. And another thing about ID cards, look, there was a massive fucking crime wave and everyone was fucking dying or something, then I'd be more up for it, but there isn't. The only reason why they want it is to clamp down on immigration, which is stupid. We should not be clamping down on immigration. We should be encouraging more people to come from around the world to Britain because it's such a great place where everyone wants to hang out and have a nice time. Everyone wants to have a party down at Britsit One. That's what I want. Let's have a big fucking party. Let's have a good time. So yeah, and also, in 1994 when they had the genocide in Rwanda, it actually had on your ID card whether you were Hutu or Tutsi. And here's the mad thing about that, right? So there were two tribes, the Hutus and the Tutsis, but they weren't like massively that different. But then the Russians came along, and what they did was they would separate out people depending on how they looked, and told them if they were taller and had a thin nose, they were Tutsi, and if they were squatter and had a fatter nose, they were Hutus, which just sowed the seeds for problems up ahead. They gave the Tutsis the best jobs. They all got all the administration jobs. If you were Hutu, you couldn't do that. You only did menial jobs. That was your level that you could ever aspire to. And then in 1994, because your tribe was put on your ID, when the massacre happened, it was really easy to identify who was a Tutsi and who wasn't. Otherwise, it would have been a lot more difficult because someone had like a narrower face and a more pointy nose, it didn't necessarily mean that they were a Tutsi. But show us your ID, they say, holding a machete, and if you say no, they kill you because they just assume that you're not showing me ID because you're a Tutsi. So some Hutus got killed in that massacre. I mean, 800,000 people were just killed in the space of about 6 fucking weeks with machetes. That's the question that you got to ask when people talk about denying the Holocaust, and they're like, "There's no way that the Nazis could have killed that many people." I'm like, "Fucking yes, they have years to do it. Fucking the people in Kilgally did it in a fucking week." You know. But yeah, Kirsty's saying I bloody well hate Stalin with every fibre in my being, which is fair enough. I hate Farage more. Because I believe, and I do believe this, if it wasn't for Farage and Murdoch and, you know, Rothermere and all those fuckers, Labour wouldn't be doing the stuff that they're doing. Come back to me, my friends. We have 54 people watching and 39 likes. So let's see if we can get up to 54 likes. So anyone who hasn't liked should like now. I'm nicking that one. If the cards have tracking abilities, which I suspect is some kind of chip or EEPROM, it could lead to fraud and more ID theft. It's going to be, it's not going to be a card. It's not going to be a physical card. It's going to be a digital card. It's going to be on your phone. Don't forget Blair. There was Crimp. Yep. So listen, we've got 8 minutes left. If you want to drop a super chat, I'll do a super chat animation. But I'm going to have to get going. I have to say ta-ra to my beautiful island here, somewhere in the Caribbean. It's in Bocas del Toro, and somewhere deep in the Caribbean. And there you go. There's some Caribbean blue for you for this morning. Beautiful out there. Beautiful. So I've packed up all my stuff already. It's all ready to go. Just got to pack up my tripod that this is sitting on, and pack up my little thing that plugs into my phone to give it batteries. And this is the last mosquito coil. This is the last one. What? No way. Oh shit! I'm sorry, my phone battery just died. That happened the other day. I mean, we was doing a show the other day, and I had about 10 minutes left, and then the signal just cut out because I'd only bought a week of internet, and it just cuts out at exactly after a week. No warning. I'm trying to send a super chat, but my phone won't let me. Oh well, Sid, don't worry about it. If you want to send, tell you what, Sid, I'll give you a super chat, right? Animation. But if you do want to send a super chat via PayPal, if you just go, Graham David Hughes. So my name, so type in Graham David Hughes into PayPal, and it should come up as one of the options, and do friends and family. So you don't have to pay anything. Super chat. I forget the PayPal. If not, I'll take it back. So yeah, folks, if we could raid the Witchy Goth stream when it finishes. Yes, let's do that. I can't send you over there because obviously my phone will let me. It doesn't have as many capabilities as my laptop. If it was my laptop, I could send you over to see the Witchy Goth, but I suggest you go and do that in a few minutes' time. Elle says, Kirsty, that can't force companies to legally comply. Companies also signed an open letter saying it's unworkable. It's like the trans ban on toilets that the Equalities and Human Rights Commission is like, yeah, fucking Inequality and Human Wrongs Commission, more like fucking assholes. And then we've got, what else have we got in the chat? What I'll do is, because I have it on top chat, and so I missed some of the things that you say. If you definitely want me to read it, then if you send a super chat, I'll definitely read it. Two Tribes, yeah, I've read that one. I'll try that, thanks. So today I am leaving this beautiful island. It's a beautiful day today. It was raining all day yesterday. It's actually quite nice today. And I will be heading out to Costa Rica this afternoon. I'll be spending a little bit of time in Puerto Viejo, over in Costa Rica, just to see a couple of friends for a couple of hours, and then I'll be getting on the bus, the 5 o'clock bus, I think it is, all the way to San Jose. Do you know the way to San Jose? Do you? Well, I do. You get on the bus that says San Jose at the front, the Mepe bus. So that's a horrific coach journey ahead of me. Ugh. And the main road is closed because they're fucking dueling it or something. So, I'm going to probably get there. It's supposed to be a 6-hour bus journey, but it's probably going to be like an 8-hour journey or even a 9-hour journey. That's fine, because I'm not going to go to sleep. I'm going straight to the airport, and my flight is at 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to check in. I'm going to check in as soon as this is over, and because you're allowed to do that 24 hours in advance. And Costa Rica is a different time zone to here. Costa Rica is only 5 hours behind the UK, whereas we are 6 hours here. Oh, wow, SG! Oh, you dropped a mega chat. I didn't carve a mega chat, so I'm just going to have to dance around with this for a little bit. Super chat, super chat, super chat, super. It's a super chat from SG, sorry. SG, thank you very much for the super chat. You are the best. You're the best. You're the best. Woo! Okay, thank you. Thanks for all the Island Brews and tour of Panama City. Small contribute towards a wee boat. Safe journey, and say hello to Mr. Gecko from us. Okay, oh, all the Mr. Geckos. Oh, they're so cute. That is awesome. Thank you very much, SG. I really, really appreciate it. And it was worth making the sign, the driftwood sign. This is going to be so confusing. It's going to be so confusing to the next people who come here and they're like, what is this? What is this? Why is there a board that says super chat backwards? Why does this exist? But cool. Kirsty says, Starmer attended a progressive conference today. He should have been refused entry. Yeah, apparently it was a bit like, someone said only like 50 people were watching it. 50 people are watching this, so there you go. We've got 47 likes and we've got 50 people watching. So 4 of you haven't given a like. So let's see if we can get those last few likes in before I head off yonder. San Jose Airport for the night. I'll be checking in at 6 o'clock in the morning, flying out at 8, all being well, tomorrow morning. And I'll be landing in Canada at about 3:30. And I will try and join in with the Saturday night social with our friend Mike Dix, who's at a wedding today. He's looking very dapper, as you might expect, because it's Mike Dix. He's at a wedding today, so we're not doing Friday night social tonight. We will be doing Saturday night social tomorrow, and I will be hopefully dropping in from the airport in Toronto, in Canada. Flying into there, I'm going to have a few hours in Toronto. I'm going to be meeting up with my friends. We're going to be going out for a meal to say thank you for inviting me over for the Toronto Film Festival a couple of weeks ago. And then in the evening, I've got to be back at the airport for 8:30 to get on my 10:30 flight back to Manchester. And then I'm going to, I don't know, sleep, watch some movies, and then go straight to the Labour Party conference. Safe journey home, Graham. Thank you. I don't actually get back to Durham until Wednesday evening. I'll be back in the arms of my beloved, who hasn't seen me for a month. But you know, it's fine. But thank you for the wishes for the safe journey home to Sid and Diz there. Take care, everyone. Says Trip. I'll try and do, if I can, I'll try and do some little bits on the road. Like last night, I really wanted to do like a little chat down here at the boat dock for the last night I was here, but the weather was horrific. It was raining, it was overcast, it looked shit, and I was doing loads of work. We've still got loads and loads of stuff to do on the island. I was making a list this morning and I had to start a new page. There's so many things to do. For example, it's something that I've noticed while I've just been here. If I let this go down, whoop, see this piece here, right? Let me get up. Yeah, that needs fixing. God, imagine if you're holding on to that and having a pee off the end of the boat dock. Not that I ever pee off the end of the boat dock, but you know, if you did, it's fucking falling. So yeah, that's got to be fixed and replaced. There's loads of little bits around the island that have got to be sorted out. I'm seeing lots of fish in the water, which is nice, because when I got here I was a bit concerned about the lack of fish in the water, but I'm seeing quite a few now, which is lovely. And the birds are singing. The sky is so blue. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this final Island Brew of the year. Hopefully we'll do some more of these next year in March when I come back. if I come back. But in the meantime, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being such a great audience. We have 51 people watching and 51 likes, so we did it. Hey, I'm back. Sorry, buffering there. That's my cues to leave. Thank you for sticking with the channel through thick and thin. And I know that it's been a bit disruptive the last month, maybe being in different time zones and not being able to do morning brew like I used to. But I will be back on the horse next week. From Thursday onwards, we'll be back to relative normality. And we've got a new show for you that's going to be coming out in October on the channel called Bunked with me and Mike Dix, which I'm sure you will enjoy. So look out for that. And yeah, on Monday, me and Phil are going to be speaking IRL in real life in Liverpool on a fringe event at the Labour Party conference. It's not an official event. You don't need to be a Labour Party member. Tickets are free. The link is in the description. And if you want to come along, you are very welcome to do so. And meet me and meet Phil in real life down the pub that we're going to, the Ship and Mitre. It's got an amazing real ale pub in Liverpool. It's only about a 10-minute walk from Lime Street Station, and yeah, and it's a cool place. You go down William Brown Street, go and have a look at St George's Hall and the Central Library and the museum, beautiful old buildings. And then, oh, my alarm's just going off to say I've got to check in. So it's 53 people watching and 53 likes. That is a 100% ratio. I love you all. Okay, and I'll say until next time. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the super chat, especially SG for that mega chat. It's very kind of you. Thank you. And until next time, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of the scenery.